Good evening, ice creamers, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Frights. I'm your host, Limes. Tonight's story is an episode of a British sci-fi series that always had one foot very firmly rooted in the horror genre. Two elemental time detectives battle supernatural forces in the first episode of the 1979 classic series, Sapphire Steel. Enjoy.
Now, come along, Helen. It's time for bed.
Oh, you promised I could have one more.
Oh, Henry.
Please, Daddy.
All right. I know. Little Miss Muffet.
Yes!
But this time, you do it for Mummy and Daddy all by yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. There came a big spider,
Which...
sat down beside her, and frightened Miss Muffet away. One more.
No more. It's late.
Oh, please, Mama.
No.
Please.
Oh, come on. There's time for another one.
Well, all right then, but just the one. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue. We all
fall down.
Dad? Dad, what's that noise? Oh, the clocks are...
All irregularities will be handled by the forces controlling each dimension. organic, heavy elements may not be used where there is life. Medium atomic weights are available. Gold, lead, copper, jet, diamond, radium, sapphire, silver, and steel. Sapphire and steel have been assigned.
Where's Mum and Dad?
Oh,
It's all right, Helen. I'm here. So where are they, Mum and Dad?
gone.
Gone where? Out of the door, downstairs? Well, where then?
Just went away.
Here, in the room? You mean they disappeared, Helen?
Yes. Mum and Daddy, they just went away.
But not here, not in the room.
Yes, just went away. Drink your milk, Helen. Everything's all right, see? I ran all the way to the phone box at Skull's Edge. Telephoned the policeman's house at the point. I told him. He's coming out here. So, everything's all right then, isn't it? I mean, that policeman, he'll only have to come to the other side of the point and cross the bay in a boat and he'll be here. So just drink your milk, Helen. Everything's gonna be all right. Stay there. Who is it?
Robert Stephen Jardine,
Yes?
you asked for help
I did, yes.
and then unlocked the door.
It was quick. I've only just phoned. I don't know you. Only the policeman at the point.
The policeman at the point isn't coming. I've contacted him and told him that everything now here is under control.
But it isn't.
I know. That's why we're here and not him.
He's a shade too serious, but you'll get used to him.
But he's got no right to tell the
Your
policeman.
parents have disappeared, right?
Yes.
And you want them back?
Of course I want them.
Safely?
Yes.
Well, then, your policeman at the point with his idiot notebook and his idiot questions stands no chance of getting them back for you. But we do.
Whatever it is that's happened to them, my mother and father, is it serious?
Yes.
How old would you say the house was?
At a rough estimate, 250 years. It's old land, arable land. It's probably been that way for centuries. There could have been other buildings on these foundations back in time.
Yes. Genuine antiques?
I'd say most of them. Some vibrations.
And the surname, Jardine.
Old French. The father's name is Henry, the mother's name is Sarah, and the child is called Helen.
How do you know?
Old names, an old house. Lots of old things. Lots of old echoes.
A pressure point, then?
Could well be. Could well be it.
You know so much about us.
We do, yes.
Then perhaps you'd like to say who you are, what your names are.
My name is Sapphire, and my friend's name is Steel.
Sapphire?
Yes.
That's a...
What?
Well, that's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
There are lots of clocks in this house.
Yes, my father collects them, makes them work.
So why aren't they working now?
They do work. They all stopped when...
Yes?
Well, just before it happened. I did search the house after.
At the time it happened, where were you?
Down here in this room.
And your parents were where?
In Helen's room at the top. They were reading to her.
Mum and Daddy just went away.
I think we'd all better go up to the top room.
Yes.
We'll take some clocks with us. Bring the child. When the clock stopped, did you hear anything?
I heard Helen crying.
Anything else?
Well, there was this kind of sound.
What kind of sound?
Well,
Describe it.
it was like a low murmur, a low rumbling sound. So where have they gone? My parents! Look, I want to know. Now! I mean, you come here, just like that. This place, well, you can hear people or cars approaching from miles away. But you two, you arrived just like that.
Yes.
So, well, I want to know at least something before we go in there to do whatever we're going to do.
There is a corridor.
It can't be explained to him.
It can, in a way, but not by you, perhaps. There is a corridor, and the corridor is time. It surrounds all things, and it passes through all things. But you can't see it. Only sometimes, when it's dangerous.
This corridor, can you enter it?
No, not in the way you imagine. You cannot enter into time. But sometimes, time can try to enter into the present. Break in, burst through and take things. Take people. The corridor is very strong, it has to be. But sometimes, in some places, it becomes weakened. Like fabric, worn fabric. And when there is pressure put upon the fabric,
Time comes in.
reaches in and takes out what it wants. And we think that time has broken into that room, broken through, and taken away your parents.
Come on.
Will they work again?
Yes? They've simply wound themselves down, that's all.
But my father winds those clocks almost every day.
I expect he does.
But clocks don't do that. It isn't possible.
No, and yet it happened.
You were in this room with your mother and father and sister before you went downstairs.
Yes.
And that's the last you saw of your parents.
Yes.
Where was the child?
Sitting up in bed.
Like that?
Kneeling.
Kneel.
So I tell him.
Your father was where?
Sitting in that chair.
Sit in it, will you, please?
What?
Just sit there. Please don't touch anything. Your mother was sitting in the rocking chair?
Yes.
All three like this, then?
Yes.
I take it your mother was reading aloud to the child.
Yes.
Reading from this book.
She did it. She does it every night. My dad often sits with them.
Traditional nursery rhymes.
Do you know which particular rhyme was being read when the clocks began to stop?
No.
When things began to happen?
No, I was downstairs.
It is important to know the exact rhyme.
Do you know which one it was?
Helen.
She's not very talkative with strangers.
Then you try.
Helen, when Mama, just before Mama went away, you remember? What was she reading to you? Which nursery rhyme?
Don't know.
You do know, Helen. Tell us, please.
Best one.
Your favourite? Ring a Ring of Roses.
Good.
Ring a Ring of Roses dates back to the time of the plague.
Yes, another echo, another ingredient.
I found it.
Wait. Read the rhyme carefully. Whenever I raise my hand, stop. When I lower it, continue.
Right.
If I say back, back, reverse the order of the words immediately.
I know.
But carefully. Not one mistake, not even one wrong letter.
No.
All right. Now, begin.
Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies. A tissue, we all fall down. The king has... The king has sent his daughter to fetch a pail of water.
Go on.
A tissue, we all fall down. The bird upon the steeple sits high above the people. A tissue, we all fall down. The cows are in the meadow, lying fast asleep. A tissue, we all get up again. The cows are in the meadow, lying fast asleep. A tissue, we all get up again. The wedding bells are ringing. The boys and girls are singing. A tissue, we all fall.
Now we all get up again, cackle in the meadow, lying fast asleep. Hush, hush, hush. Now we all get up again, cackle in the meadow, lying fast
Ringing our
asleep.
bells, wedding thee, singing our girls and boys thee. Tissue up, tissue are. Down, fall, all we.
Down, fall, all we.
Pictures, saw pictures.
Yes, Helen.
So it's there then?
Yes.
We can't seal it yet?
No, not till we brought those people back. But tear the rhyme out of the book. Destroy it. There's the child somewhere else to sleep.
She can sleep in my room.
Take her there then, will you?
Come on.
Becca!
Is there a key to this door?
No, it was lost years ago.
No one is to come back into this room. Do you understand? Not till we've done what we have to. Take it downstairs and burn it.
Helen's fast asleep.
Oh, I suppose I've surprised you. Well, I fancied a change. Steele says I shouldn't use time as if it's some sort of a wardrobe, but, well, he's so serious. I get bored wearing the same old clothes. Now, salt and pepper.
Over there. But where did you get them from?
What?
The clothes.
Oh, these aren't real.
Not real.
No, these aren't real ones. Salt and pepper. Look, this was my favourite last week. What do you think?
Well, I think that...
Yes?
I just think that you're beautiful.
Thank you.
And the name's Sapphire. Like blue, as if you were blue.
And Steele?
Well, I suppose he's like steel, grey. The corridor. Have you ever seen it? Seen inside it?
Not properly. I did catch a glimpse once on a ship.
A ship?
In the middle of the sea. Anyway, it was a simple operation. We fixed it.
And you say you saw...
Well, just a glimpse. It was like looking through frosted glass. All the images were blurred and broken.
Like the images upstairs?
Something like that, yes. Sorry.
Perhaps when you finish telling the boy about the nicer aspects of our job, you'd tell him about the dangers.
He knows about them.
He knows about them. About the dangers in this house.
The corridor?
Don't try and imagine it. It's immense. Time is immense. Try and imagine instead you, Rob, or your lifetime as approximately 1 inch in length. Then compare it to the corridor of time, which is 1,000 million miles long. 1 inch, you. Time in the unknown, 1,000 million miles. Just compare them. It's very, very big, and it's very, very dangerous.
Dangerous?
There are things, creatures, if you like, from the very beginnings of time and the very end of time. And these creatures have access to the corridor. They're forever moving along it, searching, looking, trying to find a way in. They're always searching, always looking.
For the hole in the fabric?
Yes, but they must never be allowed in. Never, ever. You've already seen what can happen upstairs this evening. But we stopped them. Held them. Took the trigger away from them.
The trigger?
Yes, the final ingredient. A certain traditional nursery rhyme spoken in a certain room.
Mama, Daddy, no pictures. No pictures, Rebecca. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies.
That's why we tore it out of the book.
Ring a roses,
That's why we burned it.
a tissue, you don't fall down.
That's why Sapphire and I...
King has sent his daughter to fetch a pail of water. A tissue, you don't fall down. The wedding bells are ringing, the boys and girls are singing. A tissue, you don't fall down. The bird upon the sea pulls the tie about the peak. A tissue, you don't fall down. The cows are in the meadow, lying fast asleep. A tissue.
So there you have it. First episode of Sapphire and Steel. I always try to tell any horror fans who have never heard of this show, check it out. Because I'm telling you, this series was chilling. Like, it really was. One of the crazy things about it was initially aimed at kids. Yeah, Sapphire and Steel went out in a sort of 7 p.m., 7:30 time slot on ITV in the UK. Can you imagine that nowadays? Parents would be having a shit fit. So what's it all about? Well, you know what? The beauty of it is you don't really know. You know, where do these guys come from? You know, they're elemental time detectives. In that episode, we kind of get like a little bit of a brief sort of explanation that they're there to basically protect our reality against sort of breaches in the time space-time continuum from, you know, unknown forces, supernatural forces. And the show itself went on to depict ghostly train stations, demonic figures with no face that would come out through pictures, all kinds of weird things. But there was never any attempt to actually explain it. And that was what played to the show's strength. It never underestimated the intelligence of the viewers. It's like, you know what? Here are the elements. Just go with it, enjoy it, and you figure it out. And that kind of makes sense. Because, you know, take this episode tonight that you watch. You know, if you're in the position, you know, of these kids, you know, they've just lost their parents, they've gone missing, you know, the clocks are running backwards, stopping, whatever. You know, and suddenly you get these two, you know, supernatural beings turn up. They're not going to turn around and say, hey, Kate, this is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing it. They're there to do a job. They're way more intelligent than we are as human beings, and they're not going to take the time out to explain the ins and outs of what they're doing. Obviously, what they're doing is critical, needs to be done fast, and stay the fuck out of the way and just let us deal with this. You want your parents back? We'll get your parents back. But just, you know, kiddies, stay over there and, you know, let the grown-up time detectives do their job. But anyway, You know, and the other big strength about Sapphire Steel, and what really makes it all work, you know, PJ Hammond's writing is fantastic. It's really, you know, and the mood, you know, all the, you know, the shadows, the lighting, you know, the whispering winds outside the windows and stuff, the, you know, the branches tapping against trees. But what really makes it work, what really keeps it all tied together, is the performances of the leads, David McCallum and Joanna Lumley. Joanna Lumley, far from the comedic role that she would later take in absolutely fabulous. But the beautiful thing about these two is they play it with such conviction. You know, they play it deadly serious, especially David McCallum there. You know, there's no sort of winking at the camera, you know, this is all for fun, you know, it's just a story, you know. They really do convey that sort of, you know, that omnipotent, otherworldly presence, you know, to the point where you really believe that these are beings from somewhere else. You know, if you get a chance, Shout Factory put out the entire series. It was comprised of, I think, 6 assignments, each assignment consisting of between 4 and 6 episodes, and you can pick it up for a steal. Like, I'm talking like $20 from HMV. You can get the entire series on DVD. And if you like this first episode, you'll love the rest of it. It's beautiful. And I'm not going to spoil the ending for you, but let me tell you, the ending of the final series, the you know, the ultimate end of the Adventures of Sapphire Steel, will stick in your mind and haunt you for a very long time. Okay? So, you know, trust Limes, go pick it up, all right? Anyway, that's it from me for another week. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's Friday Night Frights. I will say the same thing that I say week after week after week, and will continue to say, pleasant screams. Good night.